Good evening. I'm Shelley Calabrese, Executive Director of the Women's Institute at Russell Sage College. The Women's Institute offers public programs, panels, conferences, and community partnerships with a focus on constructive dialogue about contemporary women's issues. The Institute also promotes women's leadership and gender inclusivity through a student learning community and expanded curricular opportunities. I'm so glad that you can join us tonight for our final Women's History Month special event. Women's History Month is a celebration of women's contributions to history, culture, and society, and each year the National Women's History Alliance designates a theme for Women's History Month. This year's theme is Celebrating Women Who Tell Our Stories. This theme recognizes women past and present who have been active in all forms of media and storytelling. And tonight we are incredibly honored to welcome Masih Alinejad, a woman whose storytelling has ignited a movement of historic proportions, so much so that she has been named one of Time Magazine's 2023 Women of the Year. So before we begin our program, I just want to extend my gratitude to Donna Bradbury, Senior Director of the Sister Thea Bowman Center for Women at Siena College, for co-organizing this event. Donna and I met this fall and decided we wanted to partner to do something really special to celebrate Women's History Month. And as they say, when women work together, amazing things happen. I'd also like to thank my colleague and faculty director of the Women's Institute, Michelle Napiercy-Pransel, our Women's Institute student ambassadors, and the Muslim Student Association, who have been a great support throughout the planning process. And finally, I'd like to thank our sponsors, the Russell Sage College Alumni and Alumni Association, Halloran Consulting Group, M&T Bank, and the Toros and Selma Gochikian Endowed Memorial Fund. And now I'd like to introduce the moderator for tonight's event, Dr. Andrea Wren. Dr. Wren is the undergraduate dean and dean of arts and sciences at Russell Sage College. Formerly, she was associate dean at Whittier College and for 9 years directed the Whittier Scholars Program, a by-application 4-year bachelor's granting individualized degree program. As professor of English, she launched Whittier's Digital Liberal Arts Program to reimagine the undergraduate liberal arts curriculum for a digital information age. Her publications include articles on Conrad, Kipling, Austen, and digital pedagogy. She has been a recipient of $1.45 million in grants from the Andrew Mellon Foundation and an NEH Summer Institute Fellowship, a visiting fellow at Chaunton House Library and the University of Southampton, as well as a keynote speaker for the Council of Independent Colleges Digital Resources Consortium, a member of the virtuallyconnecting.org movement, the Modern Language Associate Program Committee, and the Online Learning Consortium Steering Committee, and track chair for pedagogy, also a frequent speaker at the AAC&U annual meeting, and a finalist for the Best Educational Use of Social Network in the EduBlog Awards. Thank you for joining us tonight, Dr. Wren. And now I'd like to introduce our distinguished guest. Masih Alinejad is an Iranian-American journalist and women's rights activist who gained worldwide attention when she removed her veil, or hijab, and posted a photo on her Facebook page standing proudly with her hair blowing in the wind. From that, My Stealthy Freedom was born, her viral social media campaign against compulsory hijab that became the biggest civil disobedience movement in the history of the Islamic Republic. Today, it has almost 11 million followers. Iranian authorities have responded violently, arresting protesters and violating their rights while in custody. And Alinejad continues to oppose the compulsory hijab and to speak out in defense of her fellow activists. She is one of the most prominent and vocal opposition figures challenging the Islamic Republic of Iran and offers valuable insights into the unfolding protests in Iran and what it means for US foreign policy. Described by the New York Times as the woman whose hair frightens Iran, Alinejad wrote the widely acclaimed best-selling memoir, The Wind in My Hair. sharing her extraordinary story about living in exile, leaving her country, challenging tradition, and sparking change. An inspiring account about political activism, family, heritage, and overcoming adversity, Alinejad offers a compelling and shocking look at the realities of the world we live in. And Alinejad's activism started early. Growing up in a tiny village in Iran in a traditional family, she didn't understand why girls were virtually banned from doing almost every activity boys were allowed to participate in. To get around it, she made a deal with her brother. He would teach her how to ride a bike and swim, take her to a stadium, and do lots of other activities that were outlawed for girls if she did one thing: walk with him at night to the outhouse. He was scared of the dark. That small gesture changed her life as she tasted the freedom to do what she wanted. She became politically active and began fighting for human rights, which led her to being kicked out of high school, college, parliament, and eventually her country. Her story is a tale of overcoming adversity and discrimination, and her commitment to human rights has won her numerous awards, including the UN Watch's International Women's Rights Award, the AIB Media Excellence Award, the Swiss Freethinker Association's Freethinker Prize, the American Jewish Committee's Moral Courage Award, and as previously mentioned, one of Time Magazine's 2023 Women of the Year. And now, please join me in giving a very warm welcome to Masih Alinejad.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow, such an introduction. I mean, to be honest, I'm not used to it. There was a lot of good things about me. I'm used to get nasty messages, death threats, and being the target of assassination plot, kidnapping plot, but they were all good, but she forgot some part of the introduction. I'm being called by the Iranian regime as an agent of CIA, agent of Mossad, agent of MI6, agent of Saudi Arabia, just because being a woman, and I say no, and they don't believe that we, the women, have agency. We don't need to work for any agent. And thank you so much. While she was talking, actually, before actually going through what I want to talk to you, when you were mentioning about me making my brother as an ally, I just realized how I miss my brother. Today is our New Year. It's Iranian New Year. And we celebrate like the way that you celebrate it here, all together. We hug each other, we get together, and I'm being away from my family for 13 years. And thank you for being my family, and thank you for being here, and Happy New Year, Happy Persian New Year. Yeah, are you Iranian? I just love you. Yeah, I mean, I cry a lot. Thank you. I mean, honestly, when you mentioned about my brother, I thought that how brutal is a regime actually made one of my amazing ally to go to denounce me. The Iranian regime put my brother in prison for 2 years because I actually made my brother to be an ally, and I started to tell the story of my brother to teenagers, to young girls in Iran, to make their brother and sister and fathers like their own allies to fight back against the Islamic Republic. Let's actually tell you about my brother's story because it's very important. This is 21st century. Women are not allowed to go to stadium in Iran. In 21st century, women are not allowed to sing solo. Women are not allowed to dance. Women are not allowed to show their hair. Women are not allowed to travel abroad without getting permission from their husband or their father. Women are not allowed to travel abroad without getting permission from their male relative. And how ironic the Islamic Republic actually used men to oppress women, telling men, father, brothers, you are the owner of your sisters. So what I did to my brother, I was a little girl. I have no clue about equality, no clue about it. Feminism. I had no idea about how to fight back and gain my rights. back from the Islamic Republic. But I was watching my brother to go to beautiful river, jump in the river, play football, go to stadium, do whatever he wanted to do just because of being a boy. And I was banned from doing all those activities. So clearly he was the prince of the village during the day. But during the night, yes, he was scared of the darkness. So what I did, I bullied my little brother. And I said to him that, Ali, if you don't take me during the day to ride a bicycle, if you don't take me to teach me how to swim, how to ride a bicycle, how to dance, how to sing, how to be as happy as you are, then I'm not going to go and take you to the outhouse during the night. Sorry, pee on yourself. I mean, this is your problem. So clearly, I used my power because my mom, my mother, she's not even able to read and write, but she became a true teacher and feminist for me. She told me a lesson. She said that darkness is like monster. If you're scared of the darkness, then the darkness can swallow you all. If you're scared of the darkness can devour you. But instead of being scared of the darkness, just open your eyes as wide as you can. Then the darkness will disappear. As a kid, I thought this is a fact. And I used to open my eyes as wide as I could. Honestly, it worked. It worked. So as a woman grew up in the Middle East, I experienced a lot of darkness. A lot of darkness. I got expelled from high school just because of asking so many questions. I became a journalist. I got kicked out from Iranian parliament because of asking critical questions. I went to prison just because of asking questions. So I had only two options: to close my eyes and be scared and let the darkness to win, or open my eyes as wide as I could and defeat the darkness. I chose the second one. And I think that's the reason that we, the women of the Middle East, became the nightmare of Islamic Republic and Taliban. And join me. So I want to thank you for actually giving me the opportunity to give you a better picture of what's going on in Iran right now. We are in the middle of a revolution which is called Woman, Life, Freedom. Basic word shake the whole regime. 6 months ago, Mahsa Jina Amini, 20-year-old woman, got killed in the hand of morality police. How many of you know what morality police is and what their job is? How many of you? Hands up. Yeah, because it's unbelievable. In 21st century, you shouldn't even know this, because this is a stupid bunch of police officers walk around, call themselves morality police, and tell you, cover yourself. Mahsa was not even unveiled. A little bit of her hair was visible. So clearly, she was wearing inappropriate hijab. She got arrested by morality police. She was beaten up to death. And her brutal death angered a lot of men, women in Iran across the country. Why? Because she was not part of any civil disobedience campaign. So that is why many fathers, many mothers related to her story. They said that it could have happened to our own daughter. It could have happened to our own sister, to our own fiancé, to our own, girlfriends. And that is why people took to the streets. Instead of mourning for Mahsa, crying for Mahsa Jina Amini, they started to burn their headscarves. They started to cut their hair. They started to chant death to dictator, and they turned the funeral to a massive protest, first in Kurdistan, then across Iran. And this is now one of the most progressive revolutions in Iran. The regime response, they killed 500 innocent protesters, only in 6 months. They arrested 20,000 innocent protesters, and they sentenced 50 of them to death. Hanged 5 of them. 5 men got executed for the crime of protesting peacefully, supporting their sisters. But as the regime got brutal and killed more people, I myself was shocked. The more that the Islamic Republic killed, the more that people got determined to go back to the streets and chant against the whole regime. So I always say to myself that when I talk about the killings and I give you the name, the numbers, it's like betraying them. You know why? Because here in America, when George Floyd got killed brutally by police, what did you do? You all shouted and say, loudly, say his name. But unfortunately, in my country, Iran, in the Middle East, we became like a statistics, like numbers. That's why I want to name some of them. Sarina was only 16-year-old. Nika was only 16-year-old. Siavash, Ghazaleh, Reza, Hamid, Ali, Azadeh. These are not names. Kian Pirfalak was only 10 years old. When police stopped the family, his father was worried and didn't want to stop. And immediately Kian said, maybe this time we have to trust the police. They did wrong thing. And police killed Kian Pirfalak in front of the eyes of his little brother and his parents. Now Kian, Sarina, Nika, Mahsa, Ghazaleh, Azadeh, they became the symbol of resistance. And people are actually saying their names every single day, not only on social media, in the streets. So there's a famous saying that revolution devours its children, no? Now in my country, Iran, the grandchildren, they are devouring the Islamic Revolution. And the Islamic Republic is scared of their own people. There are 3 pillars for the Islamic Republic: death to America, death to Israel, and its women, compulsory hijab. I grew up in a very tiny village. I was told that I have to say death to America as loud as the White House can hear me. I was told that I have to say death to Israel as loud as the Tel Aviv can hear me. Unfortunately, I had to burn the flag of America and Israel in my school. But you know what? Now people of Iran, my generation, they are as loud as the Islamic Republic can hear them. They say death to Islamic Republic. You don't hear any people inside Iran stepping on the flag of Israel and America or burning the flag. They are burning the flag of the Islamic Republic. But for years and years, the Islamic Republic put the blame on the Western countries and saying that these are our enemies. There is main slogan here in Iran. Is there any Iranians here? Apart from you? دروغ میگن دشمن ما آمریکاست دشمن ما همینجاست. The main slogan of Iranians are, they're lying to us when they say that our enemy is America. Our enemy is here, right here, the Islamic Republic. So a lot of people watching this, and they don't know what to do. That's why I want to actually tell you what happened to the women of Iran 8 years ago when I launched my campaign, which actually you heard about it in introduction, My Stealthy Freedom on White Wednesdays, and then give you clear demands that Iranian people believe that you can all do to help them to have a secular democracy. 4 years ago, I was at Stanford University. And the headline of my talk was very simple. Next revolution will be led by women. Can you believe that? 4 years ago. Many people in the West didn't take that serious. They thought that I might exaggerate things. Many people in the West were hesitating to touch the issue of compulsory hijab because they were worried about causing Islamophobia. Many of them were saying that this is the culture of the Middle East, so that's why we should not fight against compulsory hijab because this is going to be misrespect to the culture of Iranian people. I'm asking a simple question. Forcing 7-year-old girl to cover herself and telling her if you don't, then you won't be able to go to education. You really think this is part of the culture of a nation? No. This is the culture of ISIS. This is the culture of Taliban. This is the culture of a barbaric regime called Islamic Republic. And many women in the West were hesitating to support the Women of White Wednesdays campaign, especially female politicians were going to Iran, bowing to Islamic Republic and wearing hijab in front of the Islamic Republic officials and saying that we wear this out of respect to a culture. No, this is an insult to a nation. They were actually respecting the culture of our oppressors. Yes. My mother wears a hijab. And my dream is to walk shoulder to shoulder with my mother, who chose to wear hijab, without me getting killed or tortured or beaten up by morality police. But I was the one not getting support from Western female politicians. My mother was the one receiving support. But I am here to tell you that if you are a true feminist, if you really care about democracy, you care about equality, then you have to put your political agenda behind, just let it go when you care about women's rights. You have to support my mother and me at the same time. Otherwise, believe me, we won't be free when women of Iran and Afghanistan are not free. So 4 years ago when I said next revolution will be led by women in Iran, it's happening right now. And I want to tell you about the future. The women of Iran will get successful, and this revolution will bring the Islamic Republic down, for sure. But sooner or later, this is going to happen, because teenagers have nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. I see some young faces here. Is there any teenagers here? Yes? Hands up. How many teenagers are here? Yeah. Teenagers, 19 years old, 16 years old, 18 years old, they are in the front line. And they are the one leading this revolution. And they have clear demands, which I'm going to actually tell you. But what is happening right now, they actually paying back because the Islamic Republic targeted the teenagers, schoolgirls, by chemical attack. More than 1,000 students were poisoned. Why? Because the Islamic Republic, this is very clear because Taliban did the same a few years ago. Boko Haram did the same to its own girls. So they're using terror tactic to push back the girls, this time from the streets. Because they know that these girls are badass. And they're not going to give up. So they're using terror tactic to actually stopping one of the most progressive revolution, which women actually waving the headscarf and men supporting them and trying to say no to gender apartheid regime. So in this case, the Islamic Republic knows that Iranian people are not going to give up. So what they need? Their own enemies. They were naming America Great Satan, no? But they need the Great Satan to convince them to have a nuclear deal. So they put the blame on the protesters, telling them that you are being supported by CIA, MI6, by Western countries. But these governments are the one actually they need the West to survive. These governments trying to convince the rest of the world, the European countries, the American government, that this protest is calmed down. Now you need to get back to negotiation table. Yes. When people are facing rape, when women are facing rape in prison, 20,000 got arrested only in 5 months, of course, people are going back and trying to get themselves ready to have a unified voice again and be united again and get back to the street again. I believe that the next wave will be much heavier. But now, the responsibility is on our shoulder. How many time left? So the responsibility is in our shoulder. I want to actually tell you that what we want and how you can help Iranian women to win this revolution. This is a feminist revolution being supported by men, and here we are. One of the most important things is solidarity. No? When Muslim ban happened, the whole world got united to condemn Muslim ban. And I saw a lot of people took to the streets. In the airport, a lot of people were walking around to support Muslim minority. No? So when Burkini ban happened in France, rightfully the whole world got united. The whole world were together to condemn Burkini ban. No? People were in the streets. Massive women's march everywhere across America. You all remember that as well, no? People were chanting, "My body, my choice." I was one of them. I was really happy. And I was calling my people in Iran that this is the first time in my life I'm in the street chanting, "My body, my choice." I am protesting. Nobody get arrested here. Nobody killed me. Nobody actually, threatened me that I'm going to rape you. Go back home. I was so excited. But now I'm disappointed. And I'm telling you why. Because the time has come for the global feminist movement to get together and have women's march for women of Iran, women of Afghanistan. No? But we don't see that. We don't see that. I see solidarity from actresses, well-known activists, athletes, which is beautiful. It makes Iranian women, happy that finally we see this solidarity. But believe me, solidarity itself is not enough. We need to take action. We need to initiate the same women's march for women of Iran and Afghanistan. That's one thing that I believe that if we get together, we are going to be stronger. And we will send a signal to Taliban and Islamic Republic that women in the West, they never abandon their sisters in Iran and Afghanistan. That's one. That's why I came back from Netherlands. And I met with the Minister of Justice. She was a powerful woman. She was one of the first leaders in Europe. She cut her hair to show her solidarity with Iranian women. I said it's beautiful when I see that celebrities, journalists, activists, ordinary people, they cut their hair. It's beautiful. But I don't want the female politicians to just cut their hair. I want them to cut their ties with the murderers of Iranian women. Yes. Yeah, you can support them to do that. This is what we want the politicians to take actions. So here we are. Imagine it was not women of Iran and Afghanistan. Imagine it was here in America. You were being kicked out from schools. You were being kicked out from stadiums just because of being women. What would have been the reaction of the leaders? What would have been the reaction of the leaders of the free world, democratic countries? It was not women of color. It was not women of Iran. Women of Afghanistan being kicked out from schools. It has been 1 year. Imagine it was women of Sweden, Germany, France. What would have been the reaction of, for instance, FIFA, if women of the European countries were not allowed to go to a stadium? You tell me, what would have been the reaction of FIFA, International Football Federation, sport federations? Outraged. No? But what is different? What is different between me and you? What is different between women of Afghanistan, women of Iran, and women of Sweden, women of France? And that's why I get very angry when I see that in the West people sit on their sofa, they eat their popcorns, and they watch the series called The Handmaid's Tale. Yes, because there are some, it has nothing to do with color, but I have to say that because it's white women getting raped in this series and getting lashes, getting killed. They lose their eyes. Right now that I'm talking to you, more than 100 women in Iran got killed. Many of them, they shot them in their eyes. They're all blinded. Go and check the pictures. It's exactly like the picture of the handmaids in the series. So clearly, your entertainment is the reality in Iran and Afghanistan. So that's why I want you to be an example. Get united and ask your leaders to take actions. First, they have to stop negotiating with the murderers. First, they have to actually isolate Khamenei and his gang of killers. The way that they address Putin, the way they actually isolate Putin and his government. Because if Putin invaded Ukraine, the Islamic Republic invaded Iran, and Taliban invaded Afghanistan. If you don't care about people of Iran and Afghanistan, here you are. Khamenei, the supreme leader of the Islamic Republic, sending drones to Putin to kill innocent Ukrainians. So that actually gives you a better picture. When the leaders of democratic countries are not tough on the Islamic Republic, are not tough on the terrorist regime, then you are going to face them on European soil. You're going to face them on American soil. So that is why I'm here, to tell you that we, the people of Iran, we, the women of Iran, do not want the Western country to save us. We want the Western leaders to stop saving the Islamic Republic. We don't want the leaders of democratic countries bring democracy for us. We are brave enough to overthrow the regime and bring democracy within the country. But we want pro-democratic countries, all the leaders of G7 and democratic countries, to support pro-democracy movement. And I don't think this is too much to ask. Imagine a day, all of you, university students, college students, young students in America, in Europe, imagine a day for action. You stop going to school. You stop going to universities in support of your sisters in Iran and Afghanistan, and call your leaders to see you as an example and do the same for the women of Iran and Afghanistan. I have hope on you, the young generation, because you're going to be the future of the world. You can be an example for the leaders of democratic countries that when it comes to women's rights, we don't care whether we are Republicans, we are Democrats, we are left, right, liberal, we are all together for women of Iran and Afghanistan for women's rights. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
It is such an, is this on? Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. It is such a pleasure and an honor to be here on stage with you. Thank you for that incredibly inspiring talk and for this amazing book, which I know many of us are here holding on to. I've been reading it I've been reading it instead of doing other things that I was supposed to be doing.
I'm happy to hear that. Thank you.
In your talk and in your book, you established so many themes that I'm sure there are going to be many questions from the audience, both here and hopefully online. I just thought I would get us started off by asking one, and then we will be handing around mics for everybody to jump in. One of the themes that comes through so clearly, you describe in such intimate detail, growing up, you describe your family, you talk about your mother, your brother Ali, who I know is still incarcerated, I guess.
He's free on bail and conditionally. You know what the condition is. Stay away from your sister. Yeah.
Yeah. And you talk with such depth about the complexity of the political situation that you grew up in and the disagreements within your own family. And, and yet, coming from that complexity, you speak with such clear moral grounding. And I just wanted to ask you to talk a little bit to us, or tell us how you think we can grow to have that discourse, that robust disagreement.
Yeah.
More.
Actually, that's a very good point, because, as I wrote in my book, my father was a very, very conservative religious man, and I really love him. but I don't love his path. So, but it was not easy to fight him back because I adore him. So this is actually the educational system trying to divide the family members, trying to, as I said, use men against women, saying that, you know, you own your daughter. So my father was brainwashed, was told that for the good of your daughter, you have to actually force him to pray, force him to cover herself. So that's why I believe that what happened in my personal life, I have to share it with the rest of the world, especially with the women of Iran, because when I share my own story, it encourages other people to see that they are not alone in their path. They're not alone in their, like if they feel lonely among their own family, so then what they can do to gain their power back. So what I did, I started my own revolution from my family's kitchen. Because, look, the day when I decided to remove my long black chador, so I used to do it in stealth, like secretly. So my father actually was walking in the street and suddenly he saw me being without chador, so he got very, very angry and he spat on me. And so I was very heartbroken, but I'm being very honest with you. The moment he spat on me and he was angry with me, that was the moment I found that I'm very powerful, because now I don't have anything to lose because he knows who I am. So the challenge between me and him empowered me to use that in society as well, to be fearless. This is it. Father, I love you, but this is who I am. So, and I keep saying that. Even when the Islamic Republic brought my sister on TV to denounce me, I was watching my sister for 17 minutes on TV, saying bad things about me, disowning me. And I was watching my sister and I was crying, and my husband was really mad and saying, why you're watching this? Stay away. I said, no, this is the first time I'm watching my sister in a good quality. I was like, I'm not gonna listen to what she says. Because, you know, this is, you know, and so I still love them, but this is it. I have only one life, and I'm not gonna sacrifice my dignity, my identity, my true self, even like I'm not gonna bury them over love. So that is why I wanna actually send this message to my father, my sister, and other family members that we can be different, but this is it. This is my life, and I use this and share these stories because actually a lot of Iranian women, they share their stories as well and saying that, yeah, we love our father, but now this is it. We're going to be our true self.
I have to say, when I read the story about your sneaking out and taking the chador off, I thought, oh my gosh, I did that same thing. I didn't wear chador, but you know, the clothes that my parents didn't want me to wear. The context was different, but it's so relatable, and it really does bring, I mean, it helps me understand where you're coming from. And I just also, I think we have questions coming, but I just wanted to say also, you talk about your mother and when you got thrown out of high school and she was trying to get you into another high school. You tell the story of your mother telling this fabulous metaphor about the tree that has the most struggles, needs the most nurture. And at a college that is devoted to social justice and women's education for 100 years, that metaphor landed with me so much.
Yeah.
It's interesting how you've made allies out of your parents.
Still, look, it's on, guys, can you believe that the government make a new law saying that if anyone sends videos to Masih Alinejad will be charged up to 10 years prison? Don't send videos to me, okay? Just take pictures. But the thing is, they stopped my mom from sharing love with me. I mean, I was using my mother's picture, wearing hijab, as an example to encourage other mothers to join me. And my mom was like, you know, she loves me. But this love scares the whole regime because they want to create hate between those who wear hijab, those who don't want to wear hijab. They want to create hate between men, women, like Iranians and like Westerners. This hate is the pillar for the Islamic Republic. So that's why I made my mom like an ally, my brother like an ally. Oh my God, even the moment when when I was watching my sister denouncing me, I was watching to the end because I wanted to make sure that my mom doesn't show up. That would have been the end of my life. Because I knew that my mom is strong. My mom is not going to bow to them. My mom is not going to actually... And then I heard that my mom told them that if you come back to my house and ask me again to do the false confession against my daughter, I'm going to set fire on myself. I would rather kill myself but not disowning my daughter. So if this is not a true feminist, if this is not a hero, then how do you call it her? I love my mom.
Oh. On that note, I know there are questions, so there are some mics.
I feel guilty, I feel guilty. And now I have a lot of mothers in Iran. The mothers for justice. The mothers whose beloved one got killed by the Islamic Republic, they are the heroes of my country. You won't believe that. A mother holding hand with her son called Puya Bakhtiari, hand in hand. They were walking in the street protesting against the Islamic Republic. The minute that they were facing tear gas, they lost each other. And then there's another video showing that one of the women shouted, "This is my son, this is my son." The son got killed in front of her eyes. And the mother now became a symbol of resistance. What happened? The Iranian regime arrested her. Now, the mother is in prison, the father is in prison, the son got killed, became a symbol, and the Iranian regime arrested the parents. Why? Because the parents said, we are ready to die. We're not going to give up. So the mothers, the older generation, they actually joining the family members. Another example about the mothers, when I talk about my mother as a hero, I feel guilty when I don't share the other story of the other mothers. When Sabah Kordafshari got arrested, she was only 19 years old. She received 24 years prison sentence, more than her age, because of removing their hijab and saying no to Islamic Republic. Yasaman Aryani was 20 years old, received 16 years prison sentence. Their crown was sending videos to me, and I felt guilty, miserable here. And I was going to shut down the campaign because I was like, miles away now, I'm safe, but they are going to prison. I didn't know that time they're going to arrest my brother, they're going to send people to kill me, so I thought I'm going to be safe here. But that time when I was going to shut down the campaign, what happened? Immediately I saw videos from Yasaman's mother, Sabah's mother, on their own social media, saying that now we are the voice of our daughters. So these are the Rosa Parks of my country. These women are like women of suffragists in Iran. And that is why I get frustrated when their message gets lost in the West. And I beg Michelle Obama launched a campaign called Bring Our Girls Back. You remember? Boko Haram. So now this is the time. We need Michelle Obama, we need Oprah, we need Hillary Clinton, we need all those powerful feminists to initiate Women's March for Women of Iran and Afghanistan.
So I think we should turn to the audience for questions.
I'm very talkative. You can stop me. Feel free to do that.
I think we want to listen to you.
Thank you.
Please just raise your hand, or yeah, there we go. There's a mic coming right over.
Thank you, Masih. Thank you very much. And to add to your story, we know that when Nika and Serena were buried, these are the 16 and 17-year-old girls who were shot by the Iranian regime. They were buried. Their mothers broke the tradition, and instead of crying on their grave, they brought cake and they celebrated. They celebrated that as a birthday. Now, the fact is, we all know, young and old, that the oldest tactic in the human history has been divide and conquer. We simply experienced that in this country just the past few years, right? Now, this is exactly what's happening with women. The male institution, the chauvinist institution, whether it's in America or in Iran or in Afghanistan or anywhere else, has created a campaign, a tactic to divide women against one another. Be aware of that. That is exactly why when Masih says, if the women in Iran are suffering, the women in America are not doing anything about it. When the Me Too movement happened here, I went and protested. I am not a woman. I was not raped. But I supported those women. I am surprised and simply angry of my fellow men and women who are not supporting as they should.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so. Now, a question for you, Masih. What can we, the academics, you are in an academic arena, what can we, the academics, do to help the women of Iran and Afghanistan?
That's a very good question, because academia, for years and years, were a little bit hesitated to touch the issue of women being oppressed under Sharia laws. As I mentioned a little bit in my address, because of Islamophobia. Believe me, supporting your sisters in Iran and Afghanistan does not make you Islamophobic at all. For years and years, people were saying that, in my country, Iran, we get actually executed under the law of blasphemy if we criticize Islam, if we criticize Sharia laws. So I was told that if I show, not me, millions of us Iranians and women of Afghanistan, we are told in our own country, if we don't cover ourselves, we won't be able to go to school. We get lashes. If we criticize Sharia laws, we go to jail. We get hanged if we say we don't want to be Muslim anymore. So here in the West, I should be free to share these stories. And academia can help us and let us talk. There is a campaign called Let Us Talk among Iranian women and women of Afghanistan is very popular. And this campaign actually launched when one of the Canadian journal brought down one of the article criticizing that don't use the picture of children while wearing hijab in an advertisement, because children have bad experience in Iran and Afghanistan being forced to wear hijab. And then some people made a complaint and saying that this is causing Islamophobia. They made the writer to make an apology. And I was like, no, let us talk. Let us share our own experience. Because, you take freedom for granted. We actually got kicked out from our own countries, and let us share our experience. And believe me, phobia is irrational. But our fear of Sharia laws, our fear of Islamic Republic, our fear of Taliban, our fear of ISIS is rational. So I believe that academia can have an important role, be brave, powerful, and let Iranian women of Afghanistan, share their own experiences. That can help a lot. That can actually send a signal to Islamic Republic that, in the West, they care about those who have lived experience, and they can share their own stories to actually give you a better picture of how the feminist global movement, how democratic countries can echo the voice of those who lived under Sharia laws. Let us who have experience to talk about it. Because a lot of people with perfect English, with no accent, they talk on behalf of us in academia, and they tell us, like, this is your culture. No, this is not. This is not. In the name of cultural relativism, in the name of white savior complex, in the name of Orientalism, so many different arguments, they actually abandon their sisters in Iran and Afghanistan. So I strongly believe that this is the right moment that you can invite girls, women from Iran and Afghanistan to share their own experiences without having fear maybe they cause Islamophobia. Can you believe that? Women who got free from, a Yazidi woman who got free from ISIS, which I forgot, Nadia Murad, she won the Nobel Peace Prize. Guess what happened? She got canceled by Canadian school because of the concern of, this is school, and if she talks against ISIS, maybe it causes Islamophobia, the teenagers maybe get her wrong. I myself got canceled by many organizations because they were worried, not now, before when I was talking against compulsory hijab, they were worried maybe I cause Islamophobia. Believe me, Taliban is scary. Islamic Republic is scary. When teenagers are getting killed or being poisoned intentionally, is scary. When girls are not allowed to go to school, and I see that girls in Afghanistan are crying because they want to learn. They love to be, treated like the way that you are treated here, to go to universities. This is scary. This is happening in front of the eyes of free world, that girls are being kicked out just because of being girls. This is scary. So let us talk and share our fear in academia.
And please feel free to applaud. I think that same vibe comes through in your White Wednesdays campaign, right?
Yeah.
Which has caught so many people's attention across the country. Can you talk a little bit
About White Wednesdays?
About White Wednesdays, this social media campaign that with, 11
Look, White
million?
Wednesdays was actually one of the most peaceful campaign against compulsory hijab, because I asked women to wear white. This is very, very simple, very, very peaceful. And I remember that the Islamic Republic actually arrested 29 women only in one day. The day after, I got bombarded by videos from men saying that now we are supporting our sisters by wearing white headscarf or holding white headscarf or wearing white t-shirt in Iran. But guess what happened? The same day that women of White Wednesdays campaign protesting against forced hijab got arrested, that was the same day that 3 female politicians from Netherlands, they went to Iran in front of the same politicians, they wore hijab and they were sitting there and and I was like, wow. So, and I challenged them, and they said that, this is the law of the land and we have to respect the law of the land. And I said, slavery used to be legal. Bad law should be broken to make it a respectable law. And even you say that this is your culture. Many women in the history, they risked their lives. They got killed. They sacrificed their life to change culture, that culture. Culture is flexible. Culture is not something written on a stone. Culture is flexible. You can change it, even if it's our culture. So I was actually challenging them. None of them, it has been 40 years, none of female politicians dared to be as brave as Iranian women. And why I'm sharing this here, because I want to make you brave and challenge your own leaders as well. Recently, the US envoy for Afghanistan, Robina Amiri, she wore hijab in front of Taliban on Western soil. So not in Afghanistan, not in Iran. So the law of the land here doesn't say that if you're not Muslim, please cover yourself. No? But she did. You cannot negotiate with Taliban and Islamic Republic and having hope that they're going to reform. They only can be reformed if they leave religion behind the curtain in private house. They can only be reformed if they separate religion from states. We deserve to have a secular democracy. So you cannot go and talk to Taliban and Islamic Republic and bow them and wear hijab and say, okay, we are there to solve bigger problems. I told you I'm talkative. What kind of bigger problems? You tell me, bigger problems. A government do not allow you to choose what you want to wear. They're going to allow you to solve bigger problems? You're kidding me. No, they're never going to allow you. The same government don't allow you to choose what you put on your head. They're never going to, they control what's going on inside your head as well. That's why, with hijab, without hijab, Muslim, non-Muslim, we should get united and condemn Islamic Republic, isolate Taliban and Islamic Republic together. I think one woman, yeah.
I think we have a question from the audience.
Hello? Okay. Hi.
Stand up. Everyone want to see you. Stand up. I wanna...
Stand up? Okay.
Yay!
So you mentioned that you were a target of kidnapping and assassination. How did you avoid it, and how do you continue to avoid that?
Like this, you know? I mean, no, but to be honest, my life is totally upside down. And I was actually telling my husband that, how come you don't divorce me? Because when I came here, so he had a house, beautiful house, and I actually, you know, made a beautiful garden in my house. We've been away from our house for 3 years. Like, we moved to 12 different safe houses. So, of course it's scary. It's like, you know, imagine a day, you see a man with loaded gun in front of your house. With loaded gun, AK-47. So how do you feel? It's scary. And when the FBI actually stopped the kidnapping plot 2 years ago, I thought that's done. Okay, now I'm going to be safe. And then the FBI arrested 3 men just 7 months ago. 3 men got arrested. They were all hired by the Islamic Republic. They were part of criminal syndicate, Eastern Europe. So they hired them to kill me on US soil. And I said to myself that, why should they stop killing me? When they were trying to kidnap me, at the same time, the US government were trying to get a deal with the Islamic Republic. When they don't see any punishment, then there is no reason for them to stop, you know, assassinating or killing US citizens on US soil. So that is why I'm here to tell you that I'm under protection of the FBI. I'm very thankful that they protect my life. But I want to get the attention of you to those who don't have any protection inside Iran. They face guns and bullets. The same terrorists that were hired to kill me, they are killing Iranians right now in the streets. So that's why I'm not scared for my life. I'm being very, very honest with you. I don't have any fear. I mean, if you spend all your time talking to the mothers of those who got killed, if you spend all your time to talk to the women in Iran and Afghanistan, automatically you're going to be fearless. But what is scary for me is, as I told you, I see that this is happening in front of the eyes of free world. Otherwise, I'm a badass, like millions of Iranian women and women of Afghanistan. And look, I'm only 45 kilos. I'm not carrying a weapon. But the regime with guns and bullets, with nuclear bomb, with power, with money, they're scared of me. And millions of women like me who dare to say no to them. So they tried everything to break me, but I'm here to break them.
Hi, thank you so much for being here tonight. I do have one question for you. In your opinion and through your experiences, why don't you think the U.S. has further condemned their relation with Iran? And why do they, well, obviously they protect you, but why don't they then in turn call them out for, you know, trying to kill you?
Can anyone tell me why? I wish I had a question for you, answer for you, but I mean, I have to say that they changed their tone a lot. They're doing a better job compared to the beginning of the revolution. The US government actually took the lead, because I'm sure that they hear me. So, but yeah, I have to be fair. The US government took the lead to kick out the Islamic Republic from Women's Top Body Committee at the United Nations. And I really appreciate that. But how ironic, actually. The Islamic Republic had a seat at the Women's Committee at the United Nations to monitor women's rights globally, to make sure whether you're being treated well by US government or not. So the Islamic Republic, wow. Next, it's going to be Taliban have a seat on United Nations. But the thing is, the US government did an amazing job to kick them out. So I believe that they can take the lead to call on Europeans, their own allies, to put the Revolutionary Guards on the terrorist list. Revolutionary Guards is not a force there to protect Iranian people. Revolutionary Guards is a terrorist organization not only killing Iranian people, they are actually sponsoring the terrorist organization in the region, in the Middle East, like Hamas, Hezbollah, in Yemen. So Revolutionary Guards, as I said, is the one sending drones to Putin to kill innocent Ukrainians. Revolutionary Guards is the one actually doing their own operation abroad to kill innocent dissidents on US soil, on European soil. There is a statistics actually saying that in 40 years, there were more than 500 assassination plots and kidnapping plots on European soil by the Islamic Republic's Revolutionary Guard. So clearly the US government, first, they have to announce that the nuclear deal is dead. If they want to have a deal with the Islamic Republic, it means that they're going to bury human rights on their business. So I want the US government to announce that the nuclear deal is dead. They're going to have a deal with the people of Iran. They're going to have a deal with the secular democracy. I don't want them to bring regime change because I know that they're really scared of the word. They don't want to use the word regime change, but we're doing that. We want regime change. We, the people of Iran, inside the country, people say that loudly, so they can take the lead to support this progressive revolution and call their own allies to recall their ambassadors, to kick out the Islamic Republic diplomats. These are peaceful acts and actions that they can do it. I believe that by your support and public pressure, they're gonna do that. Look, at the end of the day, I have to say that Iranian people are gonna overthrow the regime, but it is gonna be a shameful, like in the history, it's gonna be very shameful for Biden administration, who actually, Biden himself, was pro-banning South Africa during the apartheid. The Islamic Republic is a gender apartheid as well. It's a gender apartheid. So it's gonna be a huge shame for him if he doesn't say that I am pro-banning the Islamic Republic because of gender apartheid. So that is why my dream is to meet with him and ask him that. Thank you so much for asking this question.
Hello. Hello. Hi. So my question is, your confidence and your power seems very intrinsic. It feels like it just comes naturally to you. Was there anyone in your life that showed you how to do that, or is that just who you are?
My mom, you know, I told you that I grew up in a very, very poor family. When you are poor, everyone discriminates against you. And I had to fight for every single basic right every single day. And this is, I think it's in my nature, in the nature of many women in Iran and Afghanistan. We have only one option, to be fearless. We have to overcome our fear. Otherwise, my mom said, the darkness will devour us, you know? And I miss my mom, and she told me this lesson, and I really appreciate her, because when I got divorced, I was lonely. When I got expelled from Iranian parliament, I was lonely. When my brother got arrested here in America, I felt lonely. When they brought my sister on TV, I felt miserable. But this is what I learned from my experiences, that through our pain, we have to learn to be powerful, you know? And every day I wake up and I tell myself that the government tried to make me feel miserable. I have two options: to feel miserable every day and cry, or make the oppressors feel miserable. I choose the second one. It feels really good. It feels really good. Especially, look, I grew up in a very tiny village. I had black and white TV. And I was watching the mullahs in our black and white TV every single day. And the mullahs, the clerics, were the one telling me what to wear. They were even telling me that, you know, you're gonna get hanged by your hair. If that much of your hair is shown, you're gonna be hanged by that much of your hair. I was the one watching them. But guess what? Now they are watching me. They all know me by my name. So that shows you the power of ordinary women who dare to say no and who believe in herself. And, you know, I feel really good that they're actually cursing me, calling me bad names, but at the end of the day, they are the one listening to me and millions of women like me in Iran.
Thank you so much for everything that you have shared. It's so powerful. And one thing that I am wondering is, do you feel that although the grassroots movement, we all know, is a most powerful approach to change, but do you feel that you have allies in your own government, people that perhaps
good
they
question.
cannot speak up because of their position, but you know that they are also supporting this? Is that another source of power for you?
That's we often get this question from the leaders of democratic countries. Are you leading? Because many, like I met with Prime Minister of Netherlands, I met with President Macron, many leaders, they want to really know that, because in all revolution, when they see that defection happen, when they see that part of the government, you know, leave the establishment and they join the people, or part of the army, when they leave the army and they join the people, then this is the moment of, you know, this is the momentum that they can believe that this revolution is going to win. So I have to say that many high-ranking members of Revolutionary Guards recently actually announced that live, admitted clearly, saying that we don't have now, we have many high-ranking Revolutionary Guards, they cannot support the supreme leader of Iran in a very self-confident way. So it shows that. Or the former Prime Minister of Iran, Hossein Mousavi, who was one of the presidential challengers in 2009 election, he actually released a statement recently and saying that he was one of the, you know, main person of the Islamic Revolution and Islamic Republic. Clearly, he said that the Islamic Republic cannot be reformed anymore. We have to write our new institution. And many other, you know, as we know, many other part of the government, they want to defect, but I'm being very honest with you, they don't see any signal from the West. When they see that some of the government in the West is still trying to get the, you know, the murderers to the negotiation table and get a deal, then there is no, you know, self-confidence among the army to join people. Or Revolutionary Guards. Look, the United States of America designated the Revolutionary Guards as a terrorist organization. But the Europeans, none of them dare to do it because of business, because of oil. I keep saying that the Islamic Republic is an ISIS with oil. So when they don't send the signal to the you know, part of this government who like watching the whole world, not putting the Revolutionary Guards in the terrorist list, not announcing that the nuclear deal is dead, not legitimizing this progressive revolution, so they hesitate to do it. But I'm pretty sure that very soon they will announce that as well, and they will join the people.
I think we have time for one final question.
No, I'm just enjoying it.
Well, we could stay here all night. We have one
Yeah.
here.
This is my new year and my new friends. Yeah. Yes, thank you. I hope next New Year I'm going to be in Iran and I'm going to invite all of you. Yes, the Islamic Republic took everything away from me, not hope. I hope I'm going to invite you all very soon to my beautiful country. You're going to love it. Yeah.
Our final question.
I love your hair.
I was noticing the familiarity of your
We are
hair.
sister in
We are
hair.
sisters, and I am also a badass.
Oh.
Would all the badasses stand up? Where are all the badasses? All the badasses.
Even
Yeah,
me,
we
I'm
are
gonna
here.
stand up. Yes. I love you. I love you.
you back.
Thank you. Woman, life, freedom.
Okay. I have a question for you.
You want me to stand up or not?
You're a free woman. You can make your choice. And my friend Diane also has a question. So, I'm curious, how do you ever let go of this intensity and passion? Do you take a bath sometimes? Do you eat ice cream? What do you do for downtime, if that even exists?
I'm fighting with my husband every single day.
Oh,
Why don't we
good.
have jacuzzi? I need to. I'm kidding. No. My secret is gardening. Gardening. And guess what? My garden diplomacy works better than Biden's diplomacy. I'm honest. I'm honest. Listen, I grew up in a farm. And my father, my mother, they are street peddlers. They grow vegetables, and they take the vegetables to the city. This is how they make money. So when I came here in America, I asked my husband that, do you know any neighbors? Because, we got married, and I want to get to know all your neighbors. And he said, neighbors? No. I mean, I just know them, but I don't know. I said, what? You don't go to each other's house? This is my culture. This is my culture. And he was, no. So he went to his work, and then when he came back, and I said to him that, hey, I know one of the neighbor. And he said, how? I said, I just went there and knocked the door, and I said, can I have a glass of wine with you? and then he said that, did you get a bottle of wine with you and offer them? I said, no, they had a lot in their house. A lot. So, and then that was my culture. I started to make, friends like this. So, and what I did, I grow vegetable in my garden, basil, tomatoes, cucumbers, and I make pickles, and I go to every single neighbors every summer. I feed them all with my pickles. And what happened, I make them like my family members. From the beginning, they didn't know who I am. When they saw me on TV was the moment when my brother got arrested. When they saw that the man with loaded gun got arrested in front of my house in Brooklyn. When I needed them, because of my brother, because of myself, they were all knocking the door, offering me food, wine, support, help. And I said to my husband, you see, pickle diplomacy, garden diplomacy. And guess what? One of the neighbors was supporting Trump, having the sign. One of the neighbors supporting Bernie Sanders. The other supporting Biden. I see Kamala Biden, Trump, Bernie Sanders. I see that. This is the America that I love, because when it comes to the national security, they're all together. They never ask me, who do you support? They never care whether I am left, liberal, right? No, Democrat, Republican, not at all. They care about America. And this is what I love about America. When it comes to national security, when it comes to the people, we are all united. That's why I'm saying that gardening makes politicians better. So I offer all the, President Biden or all the leaders, they have to think about gardening, neighborhood, make friends. And you ask me how I get relaxed? By talking to my neighbors, by doing this gardening and making friendship. That makes me to have more energy and fight the mullah and kick them out. Yes.
I know we're closing now, but I just want to, your pickle story just now really exemplifies what I want to say. I had the great fortune to be in Iran 16 years ago.
Sorry, I saw that he was playing with her hair. I was just trying to show off mine as well. We need a hair revolution.
Anyway, I just wanted to say that the culture that you come from is beautiful. And you kind of alluded to it, but it changed my life to be there. And I think people should know more about the culture of Iran, the Persian sensitivities, and your story about your mother and opening your eyes. My being in Iran opened my eyes, very much like you were just saying. So thank you for your
Thank you. Thank you
time.
so much. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I love you so much. Woman, life, freedom. Woman, life, freedom. Woman, life, freedom. Don't forget, this is the slogan. And I want you, especially the young students, you can have your own Women's March for women of Iran and Afghanistan with the same slogan, Woman, life, freedom. Thank you so much. Thank you. Give me a hug. Thank you. It was great. I really enjoyed it. Thank you. Thank you. Of course. Of course.
Thank you all so much.